All right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at, so up to this point, we've been talking about the energy and all that revolves around food chains and food webs, those interactions among organisms. So let's take a look today at what type of interactions we have within a particular organism. How do they all live together? And we know that some, many organisms can live amongst one another without any problems, right? And then some, you have a little bit more of a dynamic. So let's take a look at that. So when we talk about, and this is, you're filling this in on your notes here. Okay. So there's really three types of categories that organisms can interact with. The first one is predation, which all of you I'm talking to right now are consumers and you require another organism to eat, whether that's plants, whatever that may be. So you all are predators. Okay. Kind of think about that as you're going through the day. The next one is competition. Okay, and this is, we'll look into this. This is competition between the same species, but also different species. And then finally, we have symbiosis. In Latin Greek prefixes means like together. And so symbiosis is talking about how organisms can interact with each other directly. Okay. And so this is one in which, you have a direct relationship with another organism, and humans obviously do have a direct relationship with a lot of different organisms, including bacteria. So let's take a look at the first one. Obviously, when we talk about organisms and consumers, you're going to have this predator prey relationship. And so when we talk about predation, there's really three main types. Predation would be things like herbivores, which, with humans are like our vegetarians or vegans. They're going to rely on eating plants, okay, those producers, all right? Now, omnivores are the ones that eat both plants and animals, all right? Generally, omnivores can be many different organisms, but oftentimes they're going to be organisms that are probably on the primary, secondary, tertiary consumers. Usually, top level predators, generally are meat-centered type of organisms. Luckily, as for humans, we have adapted and to evolve to eat both plants and animals. And then finally, you have the carnivores, which in this particular case only eats meat. Now, if you look at a relationship of a top predator that eats only meat, you probably have realized that most of their time is spent trying to find food. Why? Well, as we're going to find out next week, the amount of energy available as it goes through the trophic level actually decreases. And we're going to get into a lot more about that the next week here. Okay. So we've probably already kind of come into the idea that, well, there's a lot of organisms out there that try to protect against predation. All right. They try to get away from being eaten, essentially. And so this really accounts for all different types of organisms. All right. For example, like plants, they have evolved to trying to protect their particular life. All right. And this includes things like, poisons, thorns, having a poor, bitter taste, those types of things. And this is to help deter, or, you do the opposite, also encourage predation. Think about fruit. All right. Fruit is made to be very sweet. They have bright, beautiful colors for attraction. And they do this because they want an organism to eat that fruit. They want something to eat those strawberries, those apples, those etc., so that they can spread that seed all over the place. And so we see this weird dynamic where, yes, we actually do want some organisms to be eaten because that is actually part of their reproductive process. Okay. Now, for animals, in avoiding predators, we see all certain types. We talked about the thing in terms of camouflage, like the pepper and moth, in which it blends in with the environment and tries to avoid getting eaten. There's a lot of things that are physical, like strength or camouflage, but there's also things that are behavioral. Can we think of, anybody can jump online, can we think of any organisms that use a form of behavior to try to avoid a predator?
Lizards blend in.
Okay, that would be a good one. Good. What's another one? This one you might have seen on the road on occasion.
Don't the armadillos, they got the armor plate things.
That would be a good one, absolutely. And if you ever see them in avoiding predators, they go into that tight ball to discourage them eating. Another one, possums, right? Possums are relatively like they have some claws, they have some teeth, but their main mechanism of avoiding predation is playing dead. And this is because most animals instinctively, when they see something that's dead with no particular reason for it, they tend to avoid it. There is a instinctual method for a lot of organisms. When they see something randomly dead, they think something's not right with this. It may be a bit disease or something like that. And so possums have evolved to being able to take advantage of that and play dead so that these organisms don't mess with it. All right. Now, we talk about predator prey, eating, killing, and all that good stuff. Let's talk about types of interactions where two are directly involved. And so generally we see symbiotic relationships in which you have physical interactions between the two. So there's many different types in here. So the three that we're going to be focused on that you need to know about is mutualism, parasitism, and commensalism. All right, let me repeat that because these are $5 words here. Mutualism, parasitism, and commensalism. So let's take a look at these. All right. So parasitism is where you are going to have, a situation in which you're going to have one benefits, the other one's going to be harmed or hurt. Okay. Now, why would the parasite? Well, the parasite, number one, steals the nutrients, food from its host. Okay. But they don't want to necessarily try to kill the host. Why? Well, they rely upon the host for food. And so obviously the organism is going to essentially get hurt by it, but they don't want it killed because they want their particular food source to continue. Before I move on, what questions do you have, everybody? All right, very good. How many people rubbed their eyes as soon as they saw that picture on the bottom there? All right. Now, mutualism is where both organisms, and when I say organisms, I mean different species, interact with one another and benefit from that relationship. They both get something out of it. So a good example of this would be things like birds and bees, bees and flowers. All right. The bees get the pollen, just like we see in this picture here, and it's able to, at the same time, fertilize these plants, help with that sexual reproduction in plants. So they both get a really good benefit out of it. We'll see a lot of organisms in which you have one that maybe eats all the insects on the plant or on the organism, and that would be a benefit because, well, it's cleaning that organism up. Okay, next we have things called commensalism. Now, commensalism is where one benefits, but the other one is not harmed or hurt in it. It tolerates it, right? It doesn't benefit, doesn't hurt it. It's just, it's just there. All right. And there's a lot of situations like, the sea anemone in which the sea anemone or the clownfish gets the benefit of the stingers of the sea anemone, but the sea anemone doesn't get anything out of it. Okay. And so this graph or this chart is in your notes. So go ahead and fill this in here. Okay. Now, again, this kind of breaks it down into a simplistic view here. So it's really good to write this down. So again, mutualism is where both species benefit. Both species benefit. Commensalism, again, one organism benefits, the other is not harmed or hurt. And finally, you have parasitism, where one is benefiting, but the other is being harmed in the process. Not necessarily killed, harmed. If they're killed, then that's going to be up into the predator type of category here. So again, parasitism is different from predation. While predation is also a one benefits the other one's harmed or hurt relationship. In parasitism, the parasite is not purely looking for food or energy. Often, parasites do not kill their host, or at least takes a while, because the parasite relies on the host to live. All right, and so we can think of many different types of parasites. It would be things like ticks, um, worms, those types of things. All right, where you can live a long time with it, but it's not necessarily going to harm you. Okay. What questions do you have, everybody? Okay. All right. Now, so far we talked about predation, we talked about symbiosis. Our last one is what we're going to call competition. All right. We talked a little bit about competition in natural selection because oftentimes competition is something that is a environmental factor that influences traits within a population or a gene pool. All right. So what are some things that organisms, and we're talking about organisms of the same species, but also different species. What are some common things that organisms kind of fight over? This would be things like food sources, space or habitat, fighting for mates, any kind of nutrients, water, and even sunlight. All right. If you go out on a hike this weekend, please take a look and see how these organisms are competing for many different things. All right. We see it in wildlife, but we also see it in plants as well. You walk through a woods, you're going to see that the closer to the sun they are, the better off they are. And so most of the forest floor, it doesn't grow very well because, well, they don't get as much sunlight. All those organisms are fiercely competing for that sunlight in which they need to live. So if we categorize these competitions, what are the two different types? Well, the first one is what we call intra-species competition. An intra-species competition is where you have competition between the same species. All right, so human to human, zebra to zebra, dog to dog, blah, 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 as long as they are the same. Now, the next one is what we call interspecies competition. And this is where you have competition among different species with one another for those same factors, not necessarily mates, obviously, but things like food sources, habitat, water sources, etc. Okay. And so generally those organisms are probably about in the same type of trophic level. And so a lot of times this type of competition gets to be pretty fierce among different organisms here. So when we come back next week, we're going to kind of dive in and take a look at these particular types of interactions and kind of see how these different interactions facilitate the flow of energy. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions?